have been running from solitude your whole life, but what if that's exactly what you need to finally take control of everything? But what is solitude? Solitude is not simply being physically alone, as many people think. It's the feeling of being distant from others, not physically, but mentally, as if no one could really understand you or reach you. Have you ever had that feeling of being in a crowded room, yet feeling completely alone? That's what we call solitude. But what are the causes? Why does it happen? There are many, but the most common are negative experience or trauma, lack of trust, social pressure and constant comparison, low self-esteem, and many other triggers can set it off. Let's step into the lab to understand better. Science tells us that solitude is not a disease, but a subjective state that signals to the brain a lack of social contact and emotional connection. During prolonged isolation, significant neurochemical changes occur. Dopaminergic activity decreases in the mesolimbic pathway, responsible for motivation and reward, while cortisol, the stress hormone, increases along with amygdala activity linked to threat perception. This imbalance explains why chronic solitude can cause anxiety, low mood, and sleep disturbances. It's not solitude itself, but the consequences if you don't manage it. The good news, yes, solitude can destroy you, but it can also transform you. The difference, how you use it. Choosing to be alone, learning to manage it, can become a powerful tool for reflecting, growing, and truly understanding who you are and what you want. Back to the lab, this is how our brain responds. Our brain manages two types of emotional states. High arousal, emotion like excitement, intense joy, hunger, or anxiety. These states activate the sympathetic nervous system, increase the release of catecholamines like adrenaline or noradrenaline, rising heart rate, blood pressure, and readiness for action. They push us to react immediately to external stimuli. Low arousal, emotion like calm, relaxation, and contentment. These states also stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, with increased production of oxytocin and serotonin, promoting reflection and cognitive regulation. They allow the brain to process information more strategically. Okay, now that we have been seeing how the brain reacts, let's make a distinction that may seem subtle, but is actually huge. Unwanted solitude. The kind nobody wants, but we sometimes fall into. You feel excluded, distant from others, as if the world is moving forward without you. Choosing solitude. When you are alone, because you decided, it's not a burden or punishment, but a moment you use to reflect, recharge, and understand things more clearly. Imagine an artist working on an important project. If they're always surrounded by people, distraction and expectation blocks them. But when they intentionally isolate themselves in solitude, they find better and deeper ideas. Meanwhile, unwanted solitude tends to keep or even amplify negative high arousal states. The brain still perceives social threat or rejection. Not being able to stay alone and ending up crying or feeling overwhelmed by emotions. So far we've seen how solitude can be either a burden or an advantage. It all depends on how you handle it. But then, how do you move from solitude that crushes you to the solitude that transforms you? So I did a lot of research when I found these 5 practical steps to transform unwanted solitude into chosen solitude and make it a powerful tool for your mind and emotional life. Accept solitude without judgment. First of all, you must accept it. You can use any method, but if you don't accept it first, you will always go back to the starting point. Don't try to escape or fill every moment alone with distractions. Recognize that being alone is normal. It's part of human nature. You are home alone and feel that emptiness growing. The temptation is to avoid it at all costs, but instead stop for a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and repeat to yourself, I feel solitude. It's an emotion, not an enemy. I acknowledge it and it doesn't hurt me. Now try. See? It works. Let's move to step 2. Intentionally choose your alone time. Being alone happens to everyone, but there is a big difference between ending up alone and choosing to be alone. When you decide, your perception changes completely. It's no longer a punishment, but mental training. The secret is removing distractions. Turn off your phone, silent notifications, skip the headphones. At first, it feels strange, cause we are used to feeling every silence. But it's exactly in that silence that transformation happens. This shift takes you from high arousal emotions to low arousal emotions. Anxiety, anger, and stress go down, calm, clarity, and focus rise. Take a 30-minute walk, no phone, no music, just your breath and the details around you. Use solitude to reflect and clarify your goals. Once you have accepted and choose it, use solitude in your favor. Most people never stop. They rush from one thing to another. The result, they don't even know if they are living the life they want, or just following a path someone else set for them. That's where choosing solitude comes in. It gives you space to observe yourself without external influence. Here you can ask, what do I really want? What's blocking me? Or what am I chasing only because society tells me to? Uncomfortable questions, but powerful. It's in silence that you finally see what's yours and what's imposed on. Write your goals, priorities, and emotions. Don't censor yourself. Don't try to be perfect. Just pour it all out without the weight of other eyes, hidden thoughts, and new insights emerge. Transform solitude into creativity and action. Once your goals are clear, it's time to act, turning solitude into concrete action. It is how. Look at the list you made and pick the easiest thing you can do right now. It could be making your bed, organizing your desk. The key is starting small. If you embrace it, choosing solitude, you will notice a surprising shift. Even the smallest action feels easier. If this video gave you a new perspective, leave a like and comment with the fear you want to face starting tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss other content like this. Share it with someone you know will need to hear this message. And if you haven't yet, check out my last video, Your Fear is Trying to Tell You Something. See you soon.